So, Mark, did you see that meme that perfectly covers what every Vegas first timer goes through? The Strip, it just takes so long to walk everywhere. On a side note, you like The Walking Dead way too much.
I mean, I didn't pick them to put Rick in there, but it reminds me of my first trip with my wife to Vegas. And I think we're staying at the Excalibur and we had tickets to Mystere and we're like, oh, let's just walk down there. And it's like, only like 6, 7 hotels away. It's not that far. It won't take that long. We'll get to see the Strip. And then an hour later or whatever it is, we're down there and ended up having to buy her the most expensive flip-flops after the show because her feet were killing her, because we dressed up going to the show and nobody else did.
That reminds me, you always see that 2 a.m. walk with the girls from the clubs with their heels in their hands. Another Vegas trope.
Yeah, and then the Instagram people take videos of it at that time and say it's empty. Nobody's in Vegas.
Okay. So let's start the show with some good news that our airport, our second airport, is coming in 2037 or something. I thought this was funny, but it's actually really big news. The BLM issued the notice of intent to prepare the environmental impact study for the new airport. So a notice of intent to prepare the environmental study. So that's where we're at right now.
So we're like 2 years away from the environmental study by the time they get it approved or whatever. But I don't know. Do you think MGM Vegas will still be on the air in 2037 so we can break this story when it opens?
The big question is, will we reach 100,000 subscribers by then?
No.
But I mean, on a serious note, this is what's needed. This is still a long ways away. So like the verbiage is kind of funny to listen to, but we are moving towards that second commercial airport in the Ivanpah Valley, which will serve Las Vegas and Southern Nevada. And yeah, like I said, I think the last estimate was 2037. So still a long ways to go.
We should buy the Primm Valley Mall right now when it's cheap and then just sit on it until it opens.
I don't think that's going to work. Rio, we can't stop talking about Rio. This story I saw from Cinnamon Girl a week or two ago, and then Pennies for Vegas also claimed this. They're charging the resort fee up front when you're booking a comp room as a deposit or something like that. Normally, let's say you book cash at Rio, then you're going to pay the deposit in the room rate, and then you pay the resort fee at check-in. That's typical. So people are upset about that. I don't see this as huge an issue, but I could see if you're not expecting it to happen. And then Cinnamon Girl also had this whole video. I'll put a link in the description on her recent stay. It just sort of backs up that their front desk staff is really terrible there. I guess she said there was no ice machines working. She had to get ice at the front desk. A housekeeper took a tip from her room, but didn't clean the room. Yeah, this is just all these little things that I've experienced and so many others have as well.
Going in Vegas with how long it can take to get up and down elevators and everything, that would be really frustrating. I don't know. Why does Vegas charge a deposit? Nowhere else that we go in the whole country, maybe the world, that I can think of, that they charge you a deposit on a cash stay.
Yeah, usually they just sort of take your credit card as a backup. One other part of Cinnamon Girl's video is that she called their AI. I guess when you call Rio now, it's an AI assistant, and they confirm that they're not supposed to charge the resort fee till check-in. It's all funny, but yeah, God, Rio. Just get your stuff together. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to harp on this, but interesting video from Cinnamon Girl. If you kind of want to know what to expect there, prices are right. I'd still stay there. I'll say that 1,000 times because at the end of the day, the rooms are okay. Just don't expect a great hotel experience.
I mean, it's still kind of a kick in the teeth, though. You get a comped room and then you still get a bill for like $200 or whatever Pennies was showing. That doesn't feel great at all. Like, okay, free-ish, kind of? I don't know. Just seems insane that they're charging that much resort fee and then they're trying to take a little bit up front. You're already a little bit upset before you get there. You deal with the front desk. That will probably make you more upset. It's just not, a good stay. I don't know. I'll stay away.
Speaking of kicks in the teeth, there's this new fee that sort of surfaced on social media, and it is a restaurant fee. So they've just gone away from trying to disguise this for what it is. Just call it, we're a restaurant. We're going to charge you a 3% restaurant fee. I think this is Giordano's that did this. I mean, come on.
Just raise everything 3%. I don't understand why it's that difficult, why you want to add this fee. Now, if it was a credit card fee, some restaurants do that. If it's cash, they don't charge it. And maybe that they just labeled it wrong because 3% is perfect for that. Usually they charge 2.9% swipe fee. So 2.9 or 3% is what a lot of restaurants charge. If you use a credit card fee, which is still annoying, but you somewhat understand that you can get out of it by paying with cash. So I don't know if that's where this is going. If this is just a straight fee, just raise everything 3% or raise alcoholic beverages 6% and leave everything else the same. I don't know how you do it, but nobody's going to complain if it's just baked into the price. I mean, sooner or later you'll get high enough that people will just stop coming. But up until that point, why are you doing it this way?
Now is the point in the show where I trigger everybody by saying that Pizzeria Uno is better than Giordano's as far as chain restaurants outside Chicago. The original locations aside, Pizzeria Uno is where it's at.
No, said no one ever.
Every Chicago person is screaming at their screen right now. So let's move on to New York and Hudson Yards. That's where Wynn was going to build their beautiful casino. I mean, the most spectacular of the casino proposals for New York, of which there's 6 or 7. And they're sort of dropping like flies. A few weeks ago, Las Vegas Sands pulled out of their project, and now Wynn is pulling out of theirs. Basically, the neighborhood didn't want them, and they said, we're not going to spend all this money if you don't want us. And I think MGM's Empire City Casino probably is the front runner now. But Caesars also has their proposal for that Times Square casino, which I think would be the coolest.
Yeah, I just don't see anything happening on Manhattan. I don't know. I just don't see them getting the approval, or everybody that lives in the area is going to be okay. Maybe somebody will grease the right amount of hands and get it done, but it just seems like there's going to be a big pushback and they're going to have to go to one of the other boroughs.
Yeah, and it's a tough regulatory environment, high taxes, I believe, and it's not going to be the easiest place to operate a casino, so we'll see. But my favorite project, Mark, the one that I think is going to happen for sure, is Bally's Bronx, which is going to be at Ferry Point Park. So another Bally's project, Chicago, Tropicana site. Of course they're building one in New York.
Well, they're going to definitely not have money for Tropicana then.
They have more projects than they have dollars in the bank. And let's talk credit card commissions. It was an interesting tweet from Vital Vegas that kind of opened my eyes this week, saying that Caesars front desk employees who sell a credit card at the front desk get a $500 commission. That seemed a little high, but in the world of credit card commissions and affiliates and stuff like that, there are credit cards that pay that level. So I wasn't completely surprised. Then he turned around and said he was wrong, got the information correct, $5, which, come on
what
now.
What a joke.
Like, $5?
That's like what I used to get paid if I got somebody at Kmart to buy the protection on a video game or something back in the day. I don't know how you pay that now for a credit card where these things print money. I mean, we've talked about on the travel side of things, how airlines and hotels, most of the money that they're making, like their profit margin, is from loyalty rewards that they sell to credit card companies and through their co-branded credit cards. So at least $50, probably $100 is what they should be paying if you get somebody to sign up. But now, we already complained about check-in times. Now you're going to try to pump credit cards at the check-in desk so somebody has to sit there and fill it out. This is going to be a mess.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but I do think the smart business decision would be to up this, like you said, to $100 to really incentivize them to do it. I think that the money is probably there on the back end, knowing what we know about the economics of credit cards. And when I originally saw the $500 version of this tweet, I told you, I said they should be marketing with influencers here locally and trying to do that, as we see with other banks and credit cards. And we'll see as Caesars launches their new credit card, MGM has their new one. Credit card wise, I feel like the sale is coming. Like it's gonna be like timeshare salesmen, and every walkway they're gonna be selling these credit cards.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. Like, put it out there, pay people, even if it's the employees. I wish it would be the employees, but this just shows how cheap Caesars is. It should be $0, not $5. It'd be less of a slap in the face to just be like, you know what, we're not paying anything for this, but we hope that you promote it. Who's going to even take the time to fill out the paperwork to say, yeah, this was my sign up for $5? It's just a joke. I don't know if this is worse than giving a light bulb for working there from day opening. What do you think?
I think Binion's Four Queens should launch a credit card and get the gorilla to sell it out on Fremont Street. I think that would be perfect. That's, I don't know. Chime in on your thoughts on that.
Sean's way to get a gorilla discussion in here.
I'll get one more in later, too. As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show, a lot of laughs behind the channel, things we can't talk about on YouTube. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. And thanks so much to everybody who supports us over there. So on a recent show, we talked about how the new burger place is coming to Cosmo, and they're doing that free burgers for a year promotion coming up next week. Well, the old burger place, Holstein's, has been gone a while, but they are moving to the Arts District, and we finally have an opening date, May 26th. And Vital Vegas shared a picture from the inside, and boy, does it look a lot like we used to look at Cosmo. I mean, the design is exactly the same.
Yeah, I think people will be excited for this, and it's nice to see that they kept everything pretty much the same, so there'll be a comfort level there, and I'm glad they found a place that will work for them. Hopefully they're successful.
Yeah, the burger is pretty good. Ate there only one time, but really enjoyed the burgers. I know a lot of people like them. Kind of a bougie burger, not cheap, but perfectly fitting in, I think, in the Arts District. So looking forward to that opening. Speaking of opening, I think the Flamingo pool is now open, Mark. We're pretty close to the end of May, so that makes sense. So good on Flamingo. The Go Pool, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm glad they got it done before Memorial Day weekend, and it does look nice. It looks high end. I would say it looks like there's less actual water area to hang out in. So that might be the one negative thing, but they seem to have packed in more cabanas, more chairs, all that stuff. I'm sure that'll be a revenue driver for them, and they'll charge for a lot of it. A negative for us, probably, but it looks like they did a really good job with it.
And here's another positive story when inflation isn't too bad. You know, we talked about the Binion story on the last show, the hamburger that tripled in price in a few years. Well, Vital Vegas was walking through Caesar's Palace talking about everybody when Buddy V launched pizzeria there. It was like $60 for a large pie, and everybody complained. Pinup Pizza obviously leveled that up, as we've talked about. But now here we are, like, what is it? Only 6-7 months later, it's only $1 more. It's only gone up $1 in 6 to 7. I mean, it's amazing.
$60.99 and does not have the same ring as $59.99. It's not even worth raising the price $1. It sounds so stupid now. Oh, $61 pizza instead of $60 pizza. I don't know. It bothers me more than it being overpriced.
So they should have gone up to like $64.99, you're saying?
Yeah, that would have made more sense.
You're the problem, Mark. The people like you.
I mean, nobody's going to buy it anyway. It's crap pizza for that price, but it would, like, why are we doing this over $1? It's so stupid.
So let's pivot. We talk about Fremont Street a lot. And on a recent show, we were talking about all the entertainers, and somebody did comment about this project. And it just happened to be Grandpa D over on Twitter finally posted some pictures, because I was trying to find pictures to put this on a show a month or so ago, and I couldn't find anything good. And he has pictures of the canals at Fremont Street. In 1991, Steve Wynn proposed this. And of course, Steve Wynn, famous for Paradise Park, your beloved lake that never happened with jet skis on the strip. So he has this history of water projects never kind of materializing. But you see a render of Binion's there. There was a model at one point. I wonder where that model went, if anybody still has it. Probably not. But they were going to put canals there, and just imagine floating down the water and gorillas dancing next to you. I mean, what could be better?
Yeah, and then zip lines going over the gondolas and all that stuff. No, it looks cool. I mean, what do you say? 25 million? He could have got it done, which is kind of insane to think of in today's dollars, that you could rip up that whole thing, build this out, and it'd only be 25 million. I would have jumped on it. Who knows if it would have actually been that price? But I think this would have been cool. I don't know if it would have been better than Fremont Street experience overall. I probably would have liked it a little bit better. Although it's nice to get blocked from the sun during the day and everything that the canopy gives you, so you'd be missing that, but it'd be something unique. And then we'd have to talk more and more about how low Lake Mead is, because it's getting sucked into this river here.
I mean, this is the Vegas that never was, right? I mean, it's not practical at all. There's barely enough space out there on busy times for the people that are there. Imagine taking out all that space and putting in water, but boy, would it have been cool. And yeah, just another interesting project. It kind of reminds you that Steve Wynn, as much as he did build and get accomplished here, he did have other ideas that he threw out there and other visions that didn't make it. And it kind of shows you how he was always trying to drive the city forward. So people come to Vegas, and one of the things they love the most is the free drinks, the quote unquote free drinks. And I think free drink service used to be a lot better at most casinos. It used to actually be like great service. So you could go and get many drinks and gamble and really enjoy that. Now it seems like sometimes you're waiting an hour between drinks. So the quote unquote free drinks aren't as good as they used to. But Jacob just made this video telling people why they shouldn't take the free drinks, because basically alcohol makes you dumb while you gamble. And we've talked about Macau before, where they don't give free drinks and nobody drinks while they gamble because they're very serious about it. But not here. It's a whole different environment. I don't think Vegas would be Vegas without the free drinks and that atmosphere created by the alcohol.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of places in the U.S. that are allowed to give you free drinks. A lot of the local casinos and stuff can't, but people still pay for them. So I think it's kind of like people look at it as a form of entertainment, and it depends on what you're doing. If you're there to like be a serious gambler and trying to make money, then yeah, you shouldn't be drinking. Probably not the best idea. Now, if you're there just for fun, you bring a couple $100 and you're like, I'm going to have a good time. If we didn't have free drinks, we couldn't justify our losses, Sean. Like, we couldn't be like, oh, I lost $200, but I did drink for an hour and a half for free. That would have been like $60 at the bar.
Yeah, but these companies are running casinos in those other states where they watch people pay for it. How long before a bean counter just comes in and says, no more, we can make them pay?
Oh man, do you want like nobody to come to Vegas anymore? That's the move that you make.
We used to have free parking. We used to have all kinds of stuff, no resort fees, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, the parking's a huge one. I think that that people felt was going to hurt Vegas, and it never did. People are just paying, and I mean, the parking charges just go more and more and more. So what started as like a $8 or $10 parking charge is $25. I mean, I could see somebody trying it, but it would be a terrible experiment.
Yeah, I could see him trying, and then everybody going somewhere else. I just don't think it would be successful long term. Now, if everybody did it together, then maybe it pulls off. But then a lot of people are gonna be like, why do I need to go to Vegas? Everybody has, or most people have, a casino within 2-3 hour drive at most. So why would you pay to come to Vegas and stuff if you're not getting the free drinks and you're not having that fun atmosphere anymore? I don't know. I hope not. Let's not put this out into the world, Sean.
And just, you're not getting free drinks either. You're subsidizing the paid drinks. That's why every drink is $25, because they're subsidizing it in other ways. Chime in. What do you think? I mean, everybody would say free parking back in the day was something that would never go away in Las Vegas. I mean, anybody would have just bet on that, and it did. So I don't think free drinks are going away, but love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And now on to Primm, our favorite topic, Primm for...
Trim.
There you go. Perfect setup there. Well, we got a comment on a recent video saying some insider news from Primm. I haven't been able to verify this, although I will show you what I was able to verify. Basically saying the executive chef was fired, IT guys are all gone, other chefs fired, buffets closed, steakhouse is closed. So I went to their website. It still lists buffet hours, but when you go to the dining, the steakhouse, the buffet are not there. There are job listings for the head of IT and a new executive chef. So it does seem to line up with what they said. So yeah, just more trouble out there in Primm and a big shakeup. Oh, and the other thing was their new general manager, the guy who just said he was, a few months ago, his whole vision for the place is gone as well.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, who's going to want to be an executive chef out there if they can't even bring people in and there's all this turmoil? And I don't know that there's a way that they can fix that out there. They already closed a couple of casinos. It doesn't seem like they can get the traffic that they need when they need it. Maybe if they had a really great dining experience, people would drive from Vegas on the weekend, go check it out, all that stuff. If they had the roller coaster open, people might go out for that. And it's like all these things, but that all takes money. And you have to have somebody that's willing to invest and take the lumps and see it through and hope that turns the tide and maybe bring out some acts and some singers and everything and really fill up the place. I mean, you can make it a destination. It's just, I don't know that they have the money to do it.
They need to bring a burlesque show out there, and I think what it would be named.
Primm for Trim.
There you go. All the problems are solved. And let's close with this. More trouble, Fontainebleau. It seems like it's been slow. I mean, I've seen it very slow there recently, anecdotally just empty at times when other areas of the Strip are busy. We know that there is potential for some sort of ownership shakeup with the Fontainebleau owners and the Coke real estate people. There's a lot of interest. I mean, there's just a lot going on here. The business is failing, I think. I mean, people can chime in if they disagree with that, but it certainly seems like that. And Las Vegas locally reporting that a lot of the dealers are being put on part-time, cutting back on that. And I think they've been fairly generous with comps anecdotally. I didn't get to play there much just because I was sick.
It's because of that steam room.
Yeah,
they were blowing on rocks.
Yeah, the steam room got me, so we didn't play a lot. So all I have is like a no resort fee offer, $125 a night, which for that level of room and class is not a terrible deal. I really wish this place the best. I don't know what it needs to do, if there's anything it can do. We talk about Resorts World struggles. How do you get people in there? It looks like a museum. It's beautiful. They need more color. I don't know, but is that stopping people? Because every time I'm there, I really enjoy it.
I think it does. I never wanted to go back because it just didn't have like a fun vibe. It didn't feel like a place I'd want to hang out in for several hours. It felt like a place, oh, this is pretty. Okay, where do you want to go to have fun? So I think that's the problem they're having. And you can make it fun. Cosmo figured out a way to make it fun and still be high end. And that's the opportunity they had when they first opened and it was packed and people were checking it out. If they would have had that kind of figured out and built in, I think people would have been coming back in droves and said like, oh, this is the new hotspot. And they can still get there. I mean, Cosmo wasn't super successful in the beginning and it struggled. So they can still turn this around. Maybe it's with different ownership. Maybe it's different leadership. I don't know what the magic formula is there, but they need to do that. And that's the problem. You go there, it's like a place you'd have like business drinks, after work. And like if you're having a client meeting, you'd go there and hang out and then you'd leave or maybe have dinner. But it's not a place that you're like, hey, let's go with our friends or whatever and just hang out for the weekend. It's kind of like a destination for this one specific thing. And then you want to get out of there. At least for me.
Well, once Brady gets all his Super Bowl rings out, I think that'll draw everybody.
Yeah,
It'll solve
That's what's
all
missing.
the problem. It is.
Their tiny, crappy sports book.
It's not crappy. It's in the back of the restaurant where you can't
Yeah.
see it, but it has good screens.
With like eight seats.
I don't know, but I mean, it sounds like there's a class action according to Las Vegas locally. A lot of dealers upset about favoritism. So yeah, just not the kind of news that you want. And like I said, there's a lot of chatter about the ownership and how that could possibly change. So we will see how it all rolls out.
Yeah, I do feel bad for the dealers. One, if you're going to cut people, just cut them and then leave full time. Cut down to what you need for full time. Don't make them all part time. That's just annoying, and you're going to lose people slowly over time. Just pick whoever the best dealers are and keep those. Make them happy. You know, you want to have some positivity going throughout the workforce. But I feel bad for all the ones that left other jobs thinking this was going to be the new hotspot where they're going to make all this money, like it was going to be the next Cosmo where you're getting packed tables, lots of tips, and maybe they left a good job thinking this would be a great job, and hopefully they can figure it out and get back to where they were, or find a new one. But that's tough.
For all those people out there dreaming of new Las Vegas casinos, just look at these news stories, and I would tell you that it doesn't look good anytime soon. I mean, there's a lot of projects, and certainly things could change, but the new ones are not doing well, and that is not a disputed fact, I don't think. But let us know what...
That's
well, that's true. Gotta love our Derek Stevens. I think he just threw out the first pitch at a Sacramento A's game.
So he threw it out in front of like 4 people. That's cool.
So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. The new airport, Primm for trim, Rio and charging those resort fees, Fontainebleau's struggles, Canals on Fremont Street. Would that be the version of Vegas that you would have loved to see? Leave a comment. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Happy Memorial Day.